Good. Calling this meeting of the Pompton Lakes Planning Board to order. Formal written advance notice is required by NJSA 10:.
Feedback.
What?
Getting a lot of feedback.
Feedback.
I don't know why.
Look at echo.
Hello? Yeah, feedback. Is there a speaker under there that you can, like, turn down?
Where are we? Right again.
Hello?
Oh,
It's
here.
coming from right there.
Well, I can be able to see it.
Technical difficulties. No, it's still there.
Let me get my flashlight on the phone.
Okay, Tom.
Let's wait a second.
Never.
I don't think there's a volume on that. Where's the feedback coming from there?
Coming from right here.
Coming back on the computer.
Is there a microphone? There's no volume control on it.
It's like as big as her.
Is there a switch over there on the screen that kicks it off, or?
Not just talk to the meeting.
You can know where that is.
Wow, what would I need to know about that?
How about now?
No, it's still there. Oh. No, it's still there.
We're hearing when you guys talk.
Still hear you.
That's better
It's
now.
like 2-second delay that's coming through.
You know what, let's try this. Let's everybody shut their mics off for a minute. Underneath.
The button on the bottom pole.
On top. Right on top.
Testing?
If you're pushing the button, you gotta hold it.
Patrick, yours is still on because I heard you again.
Has everybody's got theirs off?
It's still on.
This is playing.
Testing.
That microphone is being played.
Okay, so it's recording and playing at the same time.
Is it just your mic?
No.
No, there's a microphone here, and when you speak in any of these, it's playing.
Do you know anything about
What if
the
it's a
button?
software,
It
what's the
says
software issue and it's
monitoring
something in
during
the
the
program that
recording.
we are
Enable.
playing the speaker on top?
Yeah, I don't know. That's all good.
Try it now.
Hello?
External.
Hold on, that may be good. That's it.
Okay.
Testing? Okay, we're good.
You fixed it. She fixed it.
You do, Brian.
You take credit for that.
Take credit for it.
Take credit. Brian, you're not taking credit for that.
I'm taking credit for everything. That's when you get.
Everybody can put their mics back on?
Testing?
On top, Mr. Moore. Red button.
If on the bottom, or if you switched it off on the bottom, turn it on the bottom.
If the red light is
Yeah,
on,
you're
that
good.
means
Red
it's
light's
on.
If the red light's on, you're good.
You're good.
Okay, shall we try this again?
Yep.
Okay, formal written advance notice is required by NJSA 10:4-1. That SEC has been provided at this meeting at least 48 hours in advance of today, giving the time, date, and location, and to the extent known at the time, the agenda of the meeting. Such notice stated that formal action may or may not be taken. The notice was, 1, posted on the bulletin board outside of the offices of the municipal clerk, reserved for this and other similar announcements. 2, provided to the Suburban Trends, the newspaper designated by the Borough Council to receive such notices, and 3, filed with the Borough Clerk. Please stand for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes. Mr. Simone?
Here.
Mr. Otto?
Here.
Dr. Pendexter?
Here.
Mr. Bovee?
Here.
Mayor Sarah?
Here.
Councilman Patrick Quinn?
Here.
Mr. Bootsma?
Here.
And Mr. Foster?
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, first item on the agenda is minutes. We have 2 sets, regular meeting minutes for June 17, 2025. Can we have a motion on that, please?
Motion.
Was that you, Paul?
Yeah.
Bowlby, second? Okay.
Yes, Mr. Foster. Mr. Simone?
Yes?
Mr. Otto?
Yes.
Dr. Pendexter,
Present?
Mr. Bowlby,
Yes.
Mayor Sarah,
Yes.
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Mr. Bootsma,
Yes.
and Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Thank you.
Second item, regular meeting minutes, September 6th, 2025. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Otto?
Second?
Second by Mr. Bootsma.
Roll call,
Discussion? Anybody have comments, questions, or additions? Okay, roll call?
Mr. Simone?
Yes?
Mr. Otto?
Yes.
Dr. Pendexter?
Yes.
Mr. Bowlby?
Yes.
Mayor Sarah?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
Mr. Bootsma?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Okay, first item after that is approval of bills. First set is Colliers Engineering and Design, professional services for July through August, and the total amount of $6,514.45. Is there any questions on these invoices? If not, I'll take a motion.
Motion.
A second?
Second.
Second?
Foster, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the second set is for Marizzi Falcon LLP Legal Services. This looks like it's for June, August, and September. $3,966.50. Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Foster,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Otto. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? All right, correspondence, public notice. We have a public notice of the North Pumping Station replacement. That is the one that's behind Max. The MUA has that scheduled for replacement because it's an old station. This is a letter for notification that a flood hazard area individual permit will be submitted. They are required to notify several agencies, including the planning board. If anybody wants to see the location map that came with it, I have it here, but it's basically directly behind, almost in the parking lot behind Max. Second one is a memo from Liz Bransness, municipal clerk, adoption of an ordinance zoning walls, an ordinance of the borough of Bloomingdale in the county of Passaic. Their ordinance was adopted 7th day of October. That's just for informational purposes. And let's see. With that, we are into applications. We have one application on the agenda tonight. That is PB 25-04, Washington Urban Renewal, LLC.
Chairman, you might want to mention.
Oh, yeah. We do have a bit of sad news for us on the board here. We were advised that Andy Silverstein, who is a longtime member of the planning board and the redevelopment agency, has passed away unexpectedly. From what I understand, it was a rather short illness. Andy has had probably 40 years between the two, if I had to guess, 35 to 40 years of dedication to the borough. He has been a member and the chair of this board, and he was the chair of the redevelopment agency and was
School board, on board of adjustment.
School Board, Board of Adjustment, that's right. So he has been in the borough a long time, and he has been active in the borough, and he was a genuinely nice guy. And we're very sad to hear that he passed away, and our condolences from the board go to his family. PB 2504, Washington Urban Renewal, LLC, 125 Wanacue Avenue, Block 3101, Lot 401, Zone DRA1. And, yes, sir, bring us up and start your application.
Thank you. Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. My name is Steve Veltri. I'm an attorney. I represent the applicant and owner of the subject property, 125 Wanacue Avenue in Pompton Lakes. As you all probably know, the subject building is in the middle of the redevelopment area. It is known as the Washington Building. We are here tonight seeking a preliminary and final site plan approval for changes to the existing building and parking area. We believe the proposed changes and improvements will upgrade and modernize the building and be of benefit both to the community and surrounding property owners. The biggest proposed change will be to demolish the existing second floor, which is currently used for office space, and to rebuild it to provide for residential apartments. We're proposing 8 apartments, 7 two-bedroom apartments, and 1 one-bedroom apartment. You should note that the residential apartment use is a permitted use in the zone. The existing first floor and basement retail units will remain. They are also permitted uses in the zone. The existing parking area will be repaved and restriped. They will provide 21 spaces, plus we receive a 2-space EV credit, so we'll have a total of 23 off-site parking spaces. I should say on-site parking spaces, off-street parking spaces. Each apartment will receive 2 exclusive spaces between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. The other improvements will include a new trash enclosure area, a new lighting plan, new landscaping, a first-floor residential lobby, and a new atrium entry to the rear of the building to the commercial unit. This application has been presented to the Pompton Lakes Redevelopment Agency. And after several thorough meetings, we did receive design approval. In February of this year, the applicant entered into a redevelopment agreement and has posted all necessary escrows. Your engineer in its report mentioned a split zone issue and wanted a clarification on that. And it was addressed at the redevelopment agency in detail. If we go back 10 years, the subject site was comprised of 2 lots, Lot 4 and Lot 5. On Lot 4, the building was located, and that was in the redevelopment area. Lot 5, which is behind, was the parking area, and that was in the business district. The issue came up at the redevelopment agency because we were wondering if there was proper jurisdiction to be there because of the split lot situation. Research was done, and Debbie Lawler from Colliers and the borough attorney determined that in 2014, the lots merged into what is now Lot 4.01. And I have an email from Ms. Lawler from June of 2022 that says that. I also asked my client for the tax bill, and the tax bill clearly is now 1 lot, 4.01. And it was determined at the redevelopment agency that the entire lot was in that district. So what looked like a split lot situation or split zone situation, I don't think exists at the present time. We've tried to design and improve the property to comply with the goals and almost all of the requirements of the zoning ordinance and redevelopment area. However, there are some variances that we are applying for. They are pre-existing variances for the most part. And what you're going to hear is that this application does not aggravate or accentuate any of those variances. In fact, what it does for the biggest variances, the impervious coverage and the off-street parking variances, we're reducing the existing deficit. So we believe that if this application is improved, the entire situation on site will improve. There was also a note in the engineer's report about facade signs. And we agree with the comment in that report, and my clients have agreed to eliminate any excess facade signs that triggered any type of variances. We will comply with the ordinance. Having said that, I do have 4 potential witnesses tonight. We have a professional engineer, our architect, a professional planner, and the applicant is also here.
Great.
So with that, I'd like to call Thomas Donahue, our professional engineer.
Can I raise a question to Mr. Brewer before you get started?
Yes.
So as the applicant has indicated, at some point in time, these lots were merged into one lot. I've no reason to dispute that. However, at the time that the area and need study was conducted, only the portion of the property that contains the building was found to be in need of redevelopment and therefore included in the redevelopment plan. Merging the lot does not move the zone line, making it, in my opinion, a split zoned lot. I don't think that that necessarily has any bearing on what the board would decide to do tonight, because we evaluated it as a split zoned lot and we looked at the variances in that way. But I don't know if my interpretation versus the applicant's interpretation needs to be rectified before we proceed, or if that is moot. If the board is okay with the application, they're okay with the application.
I don't think that has an impact on the jurisdiction of the
No.
board, so.
Correct.
The board can go forward. If it has to be resolved, at the end of this, I'll reevaluate, but the board has jurisdiction to hear it, so they need to
Yeah.
know. And if you did split lot zoning, and they can address both of them, it's kind of a moot issue, we do that.
Okay.
See how far we can get.
Okay.
Again, we're calling Thomas
Yep.
Donahue, our engineer.
Please state your name, spell your last.
Thomas Donahue, Donohue, engineer
Keep your hand up.
for the applicant.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give this evening before this board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, proceed.
Mr. Donahue, can you give the board the benefit of your qualifications and
Yes.
experience?
I have a Bachelor's of Science in Civil Engineering from the New Jersey Institute of Technology. I have over 30 years of experience in engineering, civil engineering, site planning. I've testified before at least 100 boards in New Jersey. Some of the surrounding ones are Riverdale, Quantic, Butler, Kinnelon, Lincoln Park, and Wayne. And my license is in good standing.
Acceptable.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Donahue, in preparation for tonight's meeting, have you reviewed the zoning ordinances of the Borough of Pompton Lakes?
Yes, I am.
And are you familiar with the site located at 125 Wanacue Avenue?
Yes, I am.
Now, you prepared a site plan which is in front of the board tonight, is that correct?
That's correct.
Can we mark that site plan A1?
Is there any, if there's not been any change, it doesn't need to be marked. You can just reference the page.
No, I don't think there's been change since the last revision, correct?
Correct. The plans that I'll be discussing consist of 7 sheets entitled Preliminary and Final Site Plan for lots 4.01, block 3101, last revised on 10/7/25.
Okay, Mr. Donahue, can you take the board through the plan?
I will. The property is the corner lot, has frontages along Wanacue Avenue, Colfax Avenue, and Lakeside Avenue. It's irregular in
Yeah.
shape. The building itself,
Excuse me a minute, before you start, Tom. Did you said the current revision is as of when?
10/7/25.
Okay, the plans I'm looking at are 9/2/25?
We had 10-7.
You have 10-7? Now, see the set I got, this one here is revised 902. Oh, I wonder why.
Mine is
I
10-7.
can't open it up, another room here. I'll take that.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're all in the same place.
Yeah, mine's 10-7.
So check your front page on Mr. Donahue's set of plans
That one's a good one, though.
for revision of 10-7.
I have 9.
Yeah, 10-7, okay. Now that we're on the same page,
I have 9/4.
you have what?
September 4th.
Okay, this is on the set that's Donahue, not the architect, this is the engineering set. It's got a colored, zone map.
You have it. I have, 10, you want to share? There were definitely emails, I don't know if I have enough copies for everybody.
Well, we can share anyway, it's a big set.
There's another one here.
That's not there.
You done that? Wait a minute, we have another extra set here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, does anybody need a set,
I have
10-7?
one here.
Yeah, okay.
Anybody else need a set?
You did it.
10-7.
All right, sorry, Tom. Okay, we're on 10-7, and what drawing are you on?
I'm on sheet 2, existing conditions.
Gotcha.
Again, the property has 3 frontages on Wanacue Avenue, Colfax Avenue, and Lakeside Avenue. It's irregular in shape. The property size is 17,820 square feet. The property contains the existing 2-story building, which has frontages on Wanacue Avenue and Colfax Avenue. As mentioned, the current uses are retail on the first floor and basement, and on the second floor, there are existing offices. The parking lot is striped with 18 parking spaces. There are concrete walkways behind the existing building. The building has a non-conforming side yard setback of 0.3 feet where 10 feet is required, and also a non-conforming impervious coverage of 100% where 85% is maximum, and also non-conforming parking in the front yards of Colfax and Lakeside Avenue. The parking lot has access egress off of Colfax Avenue and also Lakeside Avenue through 2 driveways. The existing parking demand for the current uses, retail spaces, would require 49 parking spaces, and the office area would require 29 parking spaces. A total of 78 parking spaces would be required for the current uses. And again, the parking lot is striped with 18 parking spaces. Switching to sheet 3 of 7, it's entitled Site Plan. The applicant's proposing to renovate the first floor retail space as shown on the architectural plans, and the architect will describe those in more detail. The second floor offices will be removed, and the applicant will construct one one-bedroom apartment and 7 two-bedroom apartments. Additionally, the basement will be renovated. The existing retail will remain, and residential amenity spaces will be added to the basement. The parking lot will be reconstructed with curbs and striping for 21 parking spaces. Access will be from Colfax Avenue, and that driveway will be widened to 24 feet. The Lakeside Avenue driveway will be closed. A dumpster area will be installed on the northern property line of the parking lot. There'll be some bollards added along the ends of the proposed parking spaces adjacent to the sidewalk entering into the building area. The parking lot will have 1 ADA van parking spaces and also 2 EV parking spaces provided. The applicant is proposing to use the parking lot as efficiently as possible. So with the parking calculations, again, retail spaces which will remain, the area will remain constant, 49 parking spaces. One bedroom space will be 2 parking spaces, and 7 2-bedroom apartments will be 14 parking spaces, requiring 65 parking spaces for the uses. There'll be 21 parking spaces striped in the parking lot, and we have a 2 EV credit, so we'll have 23 parking spaces provided. What the site plan indicates is that we are proposing to label the parking lot with the apartment, mouse is sensitive, with 2 spaces for each apartment. And we'll also have signs at each one of those for residential apartment parking only between 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. Therefore, those spaces can be used for retail during the day beyond those hours. Additionally, we're providing a loading space, and the loading space is 10 by 30, and that will also have a sign indicating that the loading zone parking will be from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Beyond that, that parking space can be used for residential and or retail for the property. Variances and design waivers required for the project would be the building side yard setback of 0.3, where 10 feet is required. The impervious coverage will be reduced to 96.7%, where 85 is maximum, 85% is maximum, and again, the existing is 100%. We'll continue with the parking spaces located in the front yard on Colfax and Lakeside Avenue as existing. The loading space, we're indicating that to be in the front yard, where it's only permitted in the side and rear. Again, we have 3 frontages, and that's the location that the applicant's proposing it at. Also, a requirement is 25 feet from the property line, and we're proposing it to be 3 feet beyond, which is beyond the landscape buffer area that we're proposing. The number of parking spaces, 23 proposed, 65 required. Again, the existing is 18, where 78 is the current demand. So the proposed project will reduce the demand and also increase the number of parking spaces on site. Switching to sheet 4 of 7, entitled grading plan. Currently, the entire roof runoff discharges through roof leaders onto the existing parking lot, and from there, sheet flows across the pavement to Colfax Avenue, mostly, and then a portion of that goes to Lakeside Avenue. What the applicant is proposing to do is to collect the entire roof runoff into one pipe and discharge that to the existing inlet that's in Colfax Avenue. So the amount of water which would flow onto the parking lot would be reduced, more or less in half. The parking lot will be milled and resurfaced and regraded to provide sheet flow pitching over to the proposed widened driveway on Colfax Avenue, and will discharge into the existing inlet that's on Colfax Avenue. A soil erosion and sediment control application will be made because the proposed disturbance of the parking lot is over 5,000 square feet, so that'll be provided at a future date. Switching to sheet 5 of 7 entitled Lighting Plan. The applicant is proposing to install 3 building wall lights to provide lighting on these adjacent sidewalk areas. Along with that, they'll be installing 2 light poles. The light poles will be 16, the light fixtures will be at 16 feet for light poles and 15 feet for the wall units. The engineer has requested that the average light intensity for the parking lot, as we're indicating now, to be reduced, and we can comply with that request. The parking lot is sufficiently lighted with the current layout, but will be reduced in the future to comply with the Borough Code ordinance. The landscaping plan, which is sheet 6 of 7, the proposed parking lot area is 6,940 square feet. The applicant is proposing to install 6 shade trees surrounding the parking lot area, along with small shrubs and ground cover, which will be planted in the border area, which will be between the parking lot and the municipal sidewalk, which surrounds the parking lot area. Additionally, the applicant will install 2 shade trees along Wanacue Avenue. It would appear that 2 of those trees are missing, as they would be in line with the 2 outside existing trees that are on Wanacue Avenue, so the applicant will plant those 2 on Wanacue Avenue. That's an overview of the project. Sheet 7 of 7 is construction details, which will be installed during construction of the site. Any questions that you may have?
First, let me ask a general question. Has this gone past the county yet?
The county
Has the county been consulted?
Yes, the county has reviewed this. They had some questions regarding setbacks and the setbacks of the awnings on Wanacue Avenue, along with the right-of-way. Master plan right-of-way was not indicated previously on the Wanacue Avenue right-of-way.
And they didn't require a trench drain on Colfax?
They did not require a trench drain. In their comment letter, they did make a recommendation, their specific wordage.
Have you guys seen it?
I
Okay.
can comment to that once.
Comment number 11 of the county review letter, which was dated June 27th, 2025. It indicates it is recommended the municipality require the applicant to retain a 25-year storm for a 1-hour duration on site.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure you went through the county, because they have quite a bit of say here.
We have, there's a letter, and we'll stipulate that we will comply with all their conditions prior to any building permits being issued.
Great. Engineering, let's see what we have there. You have a long letter to address.
Okay, so just, if I may just go back to the county letter for a minute. I understand the stormwater management that you provided was just a direct connection to the inlet. And in theory, we have no exception to that, take no exception to it. But in seeing the county's comment, I just want to make sure, because I can't tell where this drainage is going once it hits that inlet, if it's going towards Lakeside or towards Wanacue. But if the county is recommending that we put in some sort of a retainage system, some kind of dry well or something, I would defer to the county and say that we should add that. Because I'm thinking that if you're going directly to this inlet, it's probably heading towards Wanacue Avenue, and that's what their concern is.
From the survey and from my inspection of that inlet, it appears to be going towards Lakeside. But again, Colfax and Wanacue could get affected by this, so.
Yeah.
But I believe the applicant will comply with putting in the infiltration basin if that's a requirement.
Yes, I would stipulate that we include that as a requirement since the county is also recommending it. Generally speaking.
What's the specific requirement?
To put in a seepage pit to allow for the drainage, the roof leader drainage, rather than a direct connection to the inlet. I mean, overall, they are reducing the runoff, so you wouldn't technically require stormwater management measures. It's not a major development by DEP definition, but given the county, I would defer to them and ask the applicant to include that.
And while we're on utilities, did you, anything with the sanitary sewer?
The sanitary sewer, I think we just needed to know, I don't remember what my comment was. I don't know if we've heard about the existing connections and if they're going to be reused or if there's going to need to be any upgrade.
I believe the existing size of the service line is 5 inches, which comes off the rear of the building. And there's an 8-inch line running through the parking lot currently, which it connects to. We would have to check to see if the 5-inch line is sufficient to handle the proposed load.
So there's no calculation that's been made that.
Not at this point, no. But we can work with you and if it needs to be a 6-inch, then we'll provide that.
And then really my other comment on the letter is the requirement or the request for a traffic statement with trip generation counts. The county is looking for just some statement saying, you know, what the increase is. If it's over 100 trips, then you would need a traffic impact study. So I don't know if you've looked at that or can give us, you know, some info on the increase in traffic that you expect.
So, I'm going to comment on that. The traffic engineer has been consulted. He is working with the county. We don't believe that there's going to be a need for a traffic study with the county. I don't have the certification yet, but obviously that'll be a condition subject to.
Okay.
This is a permitted use, so we did not intend to do a traffic study, nor do we think it's necessary.
Okay, well, we'll find out at some point.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, next question. You mentioned that there are 21 parking spaces proposed, but it appears that there's only 9 on the Lakeside Avenue side, and then you have the loading space. Are you considering that to be a shared parking space?
Yes, because as I mentioned, the applicant is trying to use the space available on site as best as possible. And so they're designating a loading area for Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then beyond that, that parking area or that area can be used for retail or residential use.
But it doesn't specifically say that on the signage that you're proposing.
It says that the loading zone parking area only for that time. If you would request different verbiage, we can modify that as necessary. That's why I left it as being 10 parking spaces on that side.
I'm not sure we can double count for parking and loading in one spot, but my bigger concern is that, I mean, where I live, deliveries come all day long. Not to say nothing of move in, move out, which I understand is occasional, but why it would end at 12 is not clear to me.
Well, if there were deliveries for the tenants, the applicant would inform them that deliveries would only take place during those times.
You can't tell UPS when they're gonna come. I'd love to be able to tell Amazon and UPS when I'm gonna be home, but that doesn't work that way.
Well, I guess if that space is available at that time, then, or we have to reduce the number of parking spaces.
Yep.
By one.
By one.
Well, while we're speaking of parking, and I'm not trying to cut you off, but the, reservation or whatever for parking spaces, overnight parking for tenants, sounds like a benefit to the tenants, but my concern is that once 8 a.m. or whatever time that ends, comes, there's nothing to, is there, any, are they forced to vacate those spaces? Because I would assume that a certain percentage, are going to be working from home, and therefore, how will we ensure that the ground floor businesses have the parking that they expect?
Well, we don't know how many people are gonna be working from home.
That's right.
Most people, I can't give you a percentage that would stay or not.
I would say most people work from home a couple days a week. And so I'm just trying to make sure that these businesses aren't left, they know what they're getting into.
Well, again, there's, whatever spaces would be available or would be available at that time. There's also a municipal parking lot, which is nearby, which could be used, as currently being used.
Yep. Okay, I mean, I just want this on the record, so you're asking for a variance, and the board needs to understand what the situation may be on site.
So let me ask you another question too about that. The current makeup of the building compared to the future makeup of the building, if this were approved, shows that the office space up top and the residential space up top, there'll be more spaces required for the residential,
No,
more for the
Yeah.
retail.
there would be more spaces required for office space.
Okay, so you're reducing by a dozen or so
Parking
spaces the
demand.
required number.
The deficit, yes.
Okay, and then the basement is currently retail?
There's a section of the basement which the architect can describe, which is currently retail, which will remain as retail.
And that requires parking calculation, which is built into what you guys gave us.
Yes, correct.
Okay, I'll have a question from Mr. Antilli about the use of the basement, so we'll wait for you for that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have more, but you're going.
All right, I'm kind of bouncing around here. One of the items that we were asking for testimony on is why the approach of installing a green roof wasn't looked at, because that would increase the allowable impervious coverage by 10%. So just if you looked at that approach, or...
Well, you could ask the architect. I was not involved in that, but we've provided as much green space as we can around the parking lot, and we are reducing the impervious coverage and providing more parking spaces.
All right, so I'll hold that question for the architect as well. I think there's some signage, I think you would want to speak to that. Kristen, or?
Well, the attorney mentioned that in his intro, so you're gonna bring the signage down to eliminate the need for any variances
Yeah,
based on this calculation.
there's a comment in the letter, I think it's number 13,
Mm-hmm,
and we agree.
okay. Plans will reflect that.
Yes.
And, my last question is the dumpster seems to be kind of on that interior lot line. How would that trash be picked up?
So a front-load garbage truck would enter from Colfax Avenue, front-load the dumpster area, back up, and then do multiple K-turns within the parking lot, free area, and then exit out to Colfax Avenue.
Would you be able to provide a template for that?
I do have one that I prepared. We'd have to mark this into evidence.
Yep.
So this is...
Do you have a hard copy?
I do.
So, yeah, if we get the hard copy out, mark it and give it to, board secretary before we talk about it.
That's me. Evidence number 1, Mr. Brewer?
Yeah, A1.
Okay. Thank you.
So this is a plan which indicates a front-load garbage truck, which is a little less than 34 feet in length. And this plan indicates the truck entering from Colfax Avenue, going over to where the dumpster area is, and then backing up. So it has the ability to back up, again, through multiple K-turns with not affecting the parking spaces, and then exiting out onto Colfax Avenue.
Do you know what size dumpsters are proposed there? Just 2?
The size is, I don't know exactly, but the size is 8 feet deep by 15 feet wide, so they could probably provide
Like 2, it wouldn't be 1.
4 foots and then some recycling.
And that would be both for the building residents and the businesses?
Yes.
And would they be separated for recycling or like?
We would have recycling containers in there also.
Is it possible that, since the dumpsters are not big, you wouldn't need a 35-foot long front-load dumpster and a smaller unit could be used? I mean, I don't know what they make, but it would seem
Could
like,
be, I was just trying to use the largest one.
yeah, sure, but I'm thinking practically is, would be, you know, with people walking and parking and cars pulling out, I'm just suggesting, should this happen, should this go through, maybe they can require that whoever the waste hauler is uses a smaller vehicle, that's all.
Okay.
May I ask another question?
Sure.
Okay, I didn't know if we were going to wait to the end. What are the, I know it's an odd-shaped parking lot with a lot of parking in it. What is the current way that the garbage trucks get in and out? Does that change because they could previously leave through Lakeside Avenue, or is it a similar kind of difficult proposition with the existing?
Currently, I believe there's 2, or 1 dumpster, which is on the sidewalk area right behind the building. In this area over here where my cursor is. I'm not exactly sure how they enter, exit, but there is 2 means of entering and exiting that parking lot area through the 2 through the 2 driveway areas.
Okay, I'm just trying to think at the margin here, and, you know, we know that not everything is going to be ideal at all points in time. However, I want to think about is this making things marginally more difficult or marginally, a little bit easier compared to...
We're providing more parking spaces on site, and also, I believe, with the removal of that driveway, the on-street parking could also be extended along Lakeside Avenue, which currently takes place. So there could be additional parking on the street available with that driveway closed.
Other things you want to talk about?
I mean, the only thing regarding this that I have a problem with is if the parking lot is completely full, what I can see happening is that truck may want to back out onto Colfax as opposed to making, I forget how many turns there were, but it looked like there were at least 6 turns to get out.
Yeah.
Can you go back to the, so when it comes back, is it just nudging that little corner of the loading zone? You're assuming there's a car parked in that loading zone, right? So it's not backing into it?
Right, it would be to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then out. And again, the applicant can request or require a smaller dumpster, which would alleviate some of the.
I would make sure that's in the conditions if this goes for an approval, that they use a smaller vehicle.
Mayor?
Just following up on what you're saying, did you look at maybe moving the dumpster somewhere else where it's closer to one of the entrances so the truck doesn't have to come in and out so much? Because I see that as a problem. You have two openings and you have spots, you're gonna gain a spot by using the spot that's in front of the dumpster, and you're gonna use a spot by taking, so you're just gonna break even, but it would make the drive in and out much easier.
If we located the dumpster.
Somewhere on the other side even?
Adjacent to the atrium, which is this location here, in this parking space, may be challenging for it to access.
Well, I'm thinking on the lakeside side, on there. Isn't that easier to get coming in and out with the dumpster right there when you come in and out?
I'm not following you. Keep this driveway open? Is that what you're
You
saying?
have one driveway, you only have one driveway. in the
Switch
back.
with the
That's
driveway.
correct, right here on Colfax.
Right, so is where your
Move it to the Colfax Avenue
zoning,
or the Lakeside.
loading zone is.
Put it on the edge there.
Yes.
If you flip-flop that, wouldn't it be easier for them just to turn into that and get into that?
I don't believe they'd be able to make this turn.
I'd bring that up, I know.
Enter into that.
Is,
No, would you be able to put the dumpster approximately where it says apartment number 3, the last space there?
Over here?
And the entrance on Lakeside would be pull in and pull out without going near any of the cars? I don't know if it works with the spots on the far end if you close off.
You're
Colfax
saying
then.
keep Lakeside driveway open?
Yeah, and possibly even move it down to like where the number 10 is there. Yeah.
Then you lose those
You
spots.
just, you just go in and then you back out. I don't know if the numbers work with the spots though.
Yeah, but we
It's-
would
that's-
lose four.
I don't know if you lose-
4 parking spaces.
But you gain
And
any
plus-
over on
plus
Colfax
we'd
side.
lose this parking space too, so it would be 6.
I think the simpler solution is just to manage the people who pick your garbage up, and
Smaller vehicles.
unless somebody says that they don't make smaller ones, then, I mean, that would seem to be the least offensive and still maintain the number of spaces that you have. It's not ideal, no matter what you do, and you do gain a couple spots on Lakeside Avenue, you do gain a couple spots in the lot by closing up the entrance and exit there.
and you do absolutely lose those spots if you were to change the opening from Colfax to Lakeside. Is that correct?
Yes.
What would be your guesstimate of how many times a garbage truck would have to come into the lot? Once or twice a week? Twice a week.
I would say twice a week.
Okay.
It's just
Not
not
a
that,
whole big deal.
no.
It's not a big deal.
And
That's
we-
the town picking up the garbage, that's not a private contractor, right?
Is it be a private?
I'm sure that
It's
there,
not the town.
It's a
Oh,
private.
So it's private, but twice a week for the private contractor.
Yes.
I'm sure that there.
Can I ask a follow-up question? Can't read my own handwriting. Right now, you have certain designated spots for each of the retail establishments there. Are you gonna?
Not for each retail establishment, no.
Good, because the one for the bodega is rather ominous warning, and it seems like there's, I don't know, 3 or 4 spots there that, and I live nearby here, that it seems like they're always empty, so it'd be good if there was just open parking for retail and not designated for the bodega, the gym, or whatever else.
No.
I agree.
We're not.
Yeah, I've been to that.
Only the apartments, that's a danger.
Good. Another question, this may sound silly, but I do have my reasons. Are the apartments gonna be pet-friendly?
I couldn't answer that.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because we have the issue with the Meridia project. People are gonna have pets, and there's been issue with people walking their dogs on school property, which is right around the corner. And that's a concern, because they're not supposed to be walking their dogs on school property. And the town is currently discussing like a dog park or an open area down behind where, and Mike knows where the Quonset hut used to be for A1 Auto Body, but that's quite a ways to walk. So I was just curious as to whether they're going to be pet-friendly parking spots, apartments, and if so, I'm just wondering, there's not going to be much green space there for them to use for walking their dogs.
I don't have an answer on that.
And just to jump on that, I would almost say that we might require this to be a non-pet, because there is no green space.
I'll agree with that.
That's the
Can't speak.
applicant.
Can't,
Yeah, I'll agree with
can't, no, you can't speak until you're.
Let me say that, based upon what I'm hearing, the applicant would agree with that condition.
The no pet.
The no-
We can always get that in testimony later.
Yes, he's here, so.
He's got a consent on it.
Two more things. One, I love the idea that what you're doing with the rainwater drain off, because I don't know what effect the draining into the parking lot had on the corner there of Lakeside Avenue and Colfax Avenue, but I've at times been sitting in the ice cream station when the water came right into the building itself. So any water that may have come off the Washington building out into Colfax Avenue that caused a problem with that, it can only help by having a direct drain into the system. And this is going to sound silly, but as part of the historical commission, I would ask that when you renovate that building, that you save that plaque, if you want to call it, the 1924, is it, or 26, I forget. If that's possible, I'd like to retain that, because that's a part of Pompton Lakes history, so just to kind of keep that in mind.
Is there still that drawing of the Washington building here in our building?
They saved it for us, the bank did.
Yeah.
Yeah, something completely off.
Okay, Mayor?
So go back to the parking and back what the engineer was saying. My concern is that I think you have, the spot's good, but what's the, when you have a registered parking that's a shared parking concept, where people are there already and they don't move, what happens at that? There's no fine, there's no nothing, so people are gonna be looking for extra parking if people are either working from home or not working that day, or whatever happens. And your hours were a little off, I thought. You know, you said 6 o'clock at night, I think, is when it
6 to 8.
goes back?
6 to 8, we said.
6. So what happens if they're back at 5? Where are they parking?
Well, if there's an open space and they would park there, they could go to a retail, it doesn't, but at that time, after 6 o'clock, it would only be for residential.
Correct.
There's open spaces available, hopefully on the property. Otherwise, it's either on-street parking or the municipal lot, which is 150 feet away. And again, we're reducing the demand on this property.
Yeah, and the other thing and this is all, not just your project, it's all the projects we do. Snow removal becomes an issue, right, in something like this, because these cars have to be moved in order to clean the lot, to snow, to move them back, and I don't know what the plan is, and I know it's a difficult something to address, but it has to be addressed on a small lot, where these cars can't get in and out.
And if you plow that lot, you're going to lose some parking spaces as well. So instead of just plowing, you might want to have to remove it, so.
Would changing the hours, I know you said something about the hours, would changing the hours, and having a stipulation like that make the load any easier, or is that still going to be a concern?
What I'm saying, it doesn't happen often, but, I think what we have to look at as a board is when we have a bigger snowstorm, just what Paul was saying, then we might have to require them to remove the snow out of the lot. You can't push the snow into our street, obviously, and if you're gonna take up spots, you're now losing spots to park. So that's something that we have to keep in mind, because these isolated spots, there's nowhere to go. They're not gonna be able to park once the snow hits the ground, and they pile it up in an area. So, you use Lidle as an example. We've all been there when they had big snowstorms, and those huge piles take up 10, 12, 13 spots. But even if they take 3 here, that's gonna make a difference.
It's true, because there's only so many spots, and that's a huge, if it's even 3, it's a huge percentage of the lot.
It's just something to think about, because I don't want their residents complaining, they deserve to have a spot. And, obviously someone shopping will have to go look for a spot, I understand that, if they can't find a spot. But you don't want residents then screaming, I don't have a place to park. My spot's covered, or whatever it is.
I had one other question related to parking, if I could throw this out. Do you have any comments from the fire department? Has anybody gone to them, talked to them about the project? I know that was one of our comments, whether the fire department and the MUA had any concerns over fire safety or sanitary sewer connections.
We received a letter from the Fire Prevention Bureau dated August 30th, 2025. Just talked about sprinkler room and standpipe locations, egress within the building. So the applicant will comply with all those requirements.
Will comply.
Yes. And the municipal utility authority, we received a letter dated September 3rd, 2025, and they had not received the architectural plans at that time, so they were requesting those to determine connection fees for the number of units, residential units versus office space. So I'm sure the applicant will comply with any requirements that the municipal utility authority has.
I don't think you mentioned how many spots are in the public spot on Waterton. Did you mention that?
There are a few parking spaces out front, but we're not counting those.
No, I know you're not counting. I'm just trying to get the number of what that is. Is it 5?
There are 5 along the frontage, one being an ADA parking space.
Right, but we, as a town, would use that more for the retail side of that. What I wouldn't want to see is residential parking in those retail spots. That would cause us hardship downtown.
I agree.
So we have to identify that. If they can't find a place to park, they can't park up front. Even though they're paying either park, they have to pay for it.
Can we
Take on the spots all day, even though I think we have an ordinance in place that's only 2 or 3 hours maximum.
Well, there's also the metering enforcement. That's 24 hours a day, right?
No, 6 o'clock.
Well, in Ponton, it's,
Oh.
now it's, yes, we just changed it.
Can we absolutely stipulate that? Is there any way that we can make that even more clear than it already is with our ordinances
Well, it's going to be difficult to
to enforce?
assess a requirement on public street parking, it's, I don't know.
And the other thing I had to address, are they, the retail, which is, good established retail there now, are they building around this retail that's staying there so nobody's being moved out?
Well, maybe we have to wait for the architect.
You'd have to ask the architect or the applicant.
Another question I have that may be better directed towards the architect. I know you said something about moving the dumpster, and then it came up, okay, well, what's that going to do to the back entrance? Can you point out where that is and how that is different from what it was previously?
The driveway, existing driveway is at this location where my cursor is, on
Okay.
Lakeside Avenue. And the second driveway on Colfax is where my cursor is right now. And this driveway is to remain and be widened to 24 feet in width.
I'm sorry, you misunderstand me. I mean like the literal into the building. I think you said something about moving a dumpster somewhere or another near the actual entrance from the back of the
Yeah,
building.
the
into the
architect
building.
could describe the entrances, but they will be along the rear of the building,
Okay.
also along the front entrance. So there's entrances on both sides, and he can describe the access in and out of the building.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for the engineer? Thank you, Mr. Donahue.
Thank you.
Mr. Veltri, it's all yours again.
Thank you. So we'd like to call the architect Gianni Antilli.
It's on top of the computer right there.
Could you please
Yeah.
write me in, I guess? Good evening. My name is.
One
John.
second, get over there.
Okay, get sworn in.
I'm not yet. Please raise your right hand, state your name, spell your last.
My name is Johnny Intilli, I-N-T-I-L-I.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you'll give this evening before this board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
May proceed.
Mr. Antilli, you're a licensed architect in the state of New Jersey, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And can you just give the board the benefit of your background and qualifications?
Sure. My background, an artist background. Bachelor of Fine Arts, Early Dickinson University, brother from New Jersey. Master of Architecture from the Ohio State University, Columbus, Ohio. Been practicing for over 30 years. I'm retired. This is one of my last projects. It's been going on for 10 years. So we get it through tonight, I'm retired. So
Extra incentive.
it's on
And you-
the, actually, yes, we started in 2014. I appeared in front of many boards in the state of New Jersey. I don't have a count from Park Ridge all the way down to Ship Bottom.
And your license is current?
Till 2027,
Great.
yes.
It's acceptable.
Thank you. Mr. Antilli, you're familiar with this site?
Yes, of course, but I'd like to also to provide a few handouts.
Okay. Do you want to do that now, or why don't we get into some
Sure.
testimony first?
Okay, very good.
All right. And you prepared the architectural plans that are in front of the board, is that
Yes,
correct?
yes, I am.
And you have up on the screen, is that a proposed rendering of what the building may look like upon completion?
Yes, that's the facade on Wanacue Avenue. And if I can zoom in, just give me a second. Not familiar with this particular type. Ah, here it is. Yes, it's on Wanacue Avenue. You can see in the center, let's see, can I zoom it now? Can't zoom in, sorry. Okay. So that's the Wanacue Avenue, but, right. And, as I said, this is the articulation of the renovation of these existing two-story building. Okay.
So can you briefly take the board through the proposed layout of the building and the apartments?
Sure. Just give me a second. Need to go on to a different. Okay, so, let's see, so we start with the site plan, which pretty much supports with our civil engineer provided us testimony just before mine, which pretty much shows the building from the top view and the parking lot, and you can see on the north side, Wanacue Avenue, see the Colfax and Lakeside Avenue, really pretty much described here.
Is
And
the atrium shown on there?
Sorry?
Is the atrium shown on there?
Yes, it's covered by this pink tree.
Oh, okay,
Okay, we'll get to that.
okay.
Okay, so this is the basement floor plan. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back to the existing. Sorry, I have a few directories here. I think I opened up the wrong directory. Let's see.
Okay, so let's start with the existing basement plan, right? In this basement plan, we have a number of activities, starting with the south end, let's call it south end of the building, which is on Colfax Avenue. There is an existing staircase, and which leads, you see my cursor?
Yes.
Okay, that's what will be called an atrium. Right now, it's an open staircase, open to the elements, which brings a person down into a basement area, retail, which used to be the shoe doctor basement retail area, which is still there. It was access to a staircase, and you see, inside of the retail space. There were a number of rooms there, and including mechanical. There were some offices there as well, storage area, office areas, and that's the bulk of the existing. Some toilet rooms, and that's basically the existing space, and that's where the calculation for parking were developed as far as the existing building is concerned. On the first floor, we have a number of retail shops, toilet rooms. Entrance to the building is on the center of the building on Montague Avenue. And there's also rear exits, or side exit onto Colfax, rear exits to the parking lot that is on Lakeside Avenue to the existing building. And the second floor was basically office spaces with toilet rooms, one staircase, and not fully covering the first floor. So, and you will see that from, I'm going to show you the photos of the existing, sorry, not, go back to, okay, photos, old photos. So these are some old photos. Let's see if I can diminish this. On the Montague Street Avenue, right? Montague Avenue, elevations. And these were taken at the time when I started this project. As you can see back then, and this, we're talking about 10 years ago, was quite, as far as canopy in the building itself, was pretty much together, as opposed to what it is nowadays, which I'm going to show you. This is the main entrance of the building, where we have that Washington, it's a limestone cast Washington, I think it was mentioned before with the gentleman from the Historical Society. And as you also can see, the articulation of the windows on the second floor, was made for offices, and this will not work with no residential use as far as egress windows, because this will not qualify if we were to change what we have in place there nowadays. This is a photo shot from the corner of Colfax, and Colfax to the right, Montague is to the left, same thing there. We're approaching the rear of the building, and I don't know if you can see this particular, let's see if I can zoom in there, but I'm talking about this, that's what the staircase is that leads from the back of the building down into what was the retail shop for the shoe doctor. We're looking at the parking lot, and again, from the ice cream parlor, we're looking at the parking lot on Colfax. We're looking in the back from Lakeside Avenue. And there was a question concerning the trash bin. There was one there then. Oops, sorry. And here you can see the entrance from Lakeside. And that's the way it is nowadays. The building entrance, looking from the inside out to about Wanacue Avenue. And the staircase, which is going to remain as much as possible of it, but modified in order to get the tenants, residential tenants to the second floor. Here you can see it. And the staircase threads are marble. They're quite unique.
Gianni, can you tell us what's being proposed compared to what we're
Well,
looking at?
let me finish what's existing and then get into the proposed, if you don't mind. I just wanted to show that, for example, this is the staircase from the shootout to the led to the retail in the basement. Okay, and these are the existing conditions. Let me go to the proposed. Okay, so let's see if we can do it here. Okay, so this is the basement floor plan, which shows on the south end of the building, the retail area. We had an office for the landlord, his paperwork. We had some toilet rooms. We had a residential tenant gym in place, provide something for the residents, as well as a community room to have a birthday party, laundry room, tenant storage for the residential tenants, and again, staircase. And I'm sorry, but this rendering doesn't show this elevator that goes up to the second floor. This is the layout for the retail spaces on the first floor, apartments on the second floor. Apartments, we did provide this for the previous, for the this business redevelopment. Years of these apartments, whether the finishes were good quality for the tenants, and we'll show this. We have a roof, flat roof, which is going to be a cool roof, not a green roof, which means that it will be white and will reflect the sunlight and will entrap, and it's a APDM roof that we're proposing. And these are the elevations that we're proposing for the building. So the articulation is separated into different, let's see, the stores and residential units above on the second floor. And this is the elevation of Wanacue Avenue. You see the canopy, but you can't see the sign right here. And this is the Colfax Avenue. Colfax Avenue again is to the side street there. And the atrium is right behind this tree to this. So basically the proposal is to enclose the staircase that goes to the basement as the building projects over it in any case. And enclose that with a glass atrium to reach the basement level. And you can see it in this photo here. Again, that pink tree is always in the way, but it's there, you know. And this is the back of the building. And the back of the building is separated by a balcony between two apartments on the second floor. The finishes. We're carrying on the same type of yellow brick that we currently have on the facade, but we're also introducing a rain screen which pretty much is a composite material that, as you see, breaks up, you know, the facade into different parts or different segments. So the articulation gives a bit of a break to a homogeneous building of one particular finish on the exterior, like if it was all brick. Also too, the difference between the brick and the rain screen is articulated so that the rain screen is a little bit higher. And again, the roof parapet areas are high enough so that you will not be able to see the mechanical equipment that we're proposing on the roofs, which basically are all the air conditioning units, the rooftop units that will be provided for both the residential and the commercial units that we are in this building. I think I covered all of that there. Let me go to, 1 second. Just to give you an idea, something is, excuse me for a second, something went wrong. And the limit is this. No. This one. I couldn't find that already. Sorry. Okay, so, you know, this is very recent. As of last night, I went into Google Maps just to get an idea. And you can see that the building has even degenerated further as far as signs, articulation of the building, and you can see the back of the building. Okay, so we still have the shoot after signs there on this photo. I haven't been to the site to ascertain what's out there. I still don't see a garbage container back there. So you can see from these photos that, so you see the staircase, I mean, that goes down to the basement there. But that's that. One last piece, last item. Let's see. I have to go back to this. Just to give you what it will look like in terms of a video presentation. It's only 2 minutes. Not going to take much of your time on this one. But since we put it together, we spent some time showing the articulation. Here you can see the signs, you can see the canopies. Okay, we put the sign below the canopies so that not above, not telling the building is something. This is more elegant. Here's the entrance with a marble existing, right? And you can see also the bricks and the rain screen material there, that again breaks up the facade, and also the windows to the second floor. These are egress windows. They're made for residential units, so that we bring some sunlight into it, air, ventilation. You see the landscaping. This is according to our plans. We have provided with a site plan. All new storefronts. So basically, we are remodeling this building from bottom to top. And there is nothing that is going to remain of the old building, except for the entrance, the washing clock that is there. And we're coming around Colfax Avenue, and again, we take care of of course, the bodega is no longer a bodega. The owner of the building will testify as far as who's going to remain is not. And you can see the atrium there that is enclosed, glass enclosed, as we're coming around that pink tree, right? And here's the parking lot. And again, we try to keep the garbage away from the building. Yeah, so that's very much that.
Gianni, can you just highlight the entrances and exits of the building and also the apartments
Yes.
and the size of the apartments?
Yes, sir. And at the same time, I'd like to provide this as evidence, since I revised the ADA, this building first floor accessibility route, plan diagram.
This is, let's, mark it's gonna be A2. And just describe it, how many sheets, what is it?
There are 3 sheets, but also we have this exhibit here. These are the renderings and photos and the video that I would like to introduce.
That's what showed on the screen?
Yes.
That'll be A3, so that'll be A3. We already talked about that.
Thank you.
That's what we just saw, correct?
Right. Now,
Yeah, just describe what A2 is before you talked about
A2 has 1 sheet.
it. It's a single sheet or it's 3 sheets?
3 sheets.
3 sheets.
Okay. One is of the sign and canopies, elevation and details. One is the building first floor, accessibility route, plan diagram. And one is the calculation for all the signs according to elevation of the building. That is Montague Avenue elevation, Colfax Avenue elevation, Lakeside elevation.
Okay, we're marking that.
That's A2, jointly A2.
Thank you.
It may be A3.
I think we already.
I started talking about A2. He did this, the pictures were A3, so we're sticking that to A2.
There are enough copies.
You see these, it's 3.
You sneaked the Fiat in there, huh?
You saw that by now.
Saw that.
People that work for it, have that time.
Thank you.
Okay, so basically, this is in response to the engineer and planner comments from the letters. There was that, as far as the sign, what I'm showing you is calculation based only on the commercial area of the buildings. That is the first floor. And that we're meeting the 10% signage requirement for the area of the facade and all three street elevations for the signs to be 10 feet by 2 feet. So no variances are contemplated for signage. Okay.
Does that include the signage on the canopy?
And the canopy,
Is that included in this calculation?
no, it's not. No, we have like 3 inches by 6 feet.
Yeah, that should be added.
I will add it to it, because we're low anyways. I mean,
Where's the staircase going to?
you know, as you see, the signage on Colfax Avenue, we 96 square feet, we only have 80. On Montague Avenue, 198 for 73, we have 180. And 41.5 square feet on Lakeside Avenue. No, 166.1, we're providing 140. So,
But I think that her point is, if you count the canopies and you're over, then you're not asking for the variances. Right now, you're saying you need no variances.
no variances.
But if you count in the canopy, one second, if you count in the canopies, which she's saying needs to be included, and that bumps it over, you will need a variance.
No, it will not bump it over because we have plenty area left over.
That's insane.
With less than what we require.
Do you know what the dimensions are per canopy sign?
18 square inches, 20 square inches, I can guess. But I can give you the exact dimension, I can. Not right now.
Okay, so I guess the best way to handle this would be.
They're saying no variances, so
They're-
this board is not
they're saying
granting
no
variances.
variances. If there are too many words on the canopy that would trigger a variance, you need to just eliminate some words, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
Can't avoid it.
but you seem to think it will comply anyway.
We have plenty area, yeah.
So just don't bring in a client with a really, really long name.
Well, rather than be 3 inches letter, it will be like 1 inch. We'll shrink the letter down. But we'll adjust it and the other item was the accessibility route, which was requested from the Business Development Board as far as showing our people can enter the building. And they also requested that we provide, and I will show you. I think I better show you the drawings.
Completely off topic, do we have a battery issue?
Excuse me?
I
still
see.
put-
What do you see?
Do you have a low battery issue?
I don't know, it's your town's laptop.
Okay.
Should be plugged in.
I
It
have
was
no
low before,
idea.
now it's got an exclamation point.
Yeah, I'm just
Probably
worried
not
it's got
plugged in.
dye in the old presentation.
Should be plugged in.
Plug in, there's a light there.
This is the parking area.
Not that one.
Look, look at this. Thank you for pointing it out. Let's see.
Yeah, well, they can't, one way in, one way out, it's all. I wonder what John would have.
And the light is green now, thank you. Okay.
I think you have to plug in and then left a cord.
I think, that's good.
So let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as the plans are concerned, I'm sorry, the question was? Was a question?
There was no question, just asking about the time.
No, the power, okay, we resolved the power. Okay, but basically, we are, as you see from the architectural plans was this submitted, that we have an elevator on the basement floor plan.
Will you need a generator with that elevator? That was one of the questions in the engineer's report.
No, it's not required, but we may have battery backup once we get into the design of the building. And our elevator engineer consultant will work on that, will let us know what we need. But a generator is not required by codes. And I looked into the codes for the elevator subcode.
So Gianni, can you outline for the board the entrances and exits to the building?
Okay, on Montague Avenue, we have this new vestibule entrances, so the recess into the building, and then we'll work for ADA accessibility. So there will be will be 6 of them on the retail area.
And I think we went through this at the redevelopment agency, the doors are gonna be swinging in.
Right, they're swinging into a vestibule, right. So there is a vestibule before. There is a space so that you can walk in front of the storefront, and the storefront door is recessed in. So, and then you push the door in, right? So it's recessing 3 feet from the sidewalk.
So the doors open in or out?
Open into the retail space.
That was required, requested by the redevelopment.
Okay. If they open in though, is that gonna satisfy fire code?
It does, because we do it all the time, regardless.
Okay.
And,
Just
the
trying to be sure.
Right, and the swinging out, basically, it does present a problem as far as swinging into the sidewalk.
So each commercial unit has a door,
Right.
ingress and egress. What about the
The
building itself?
egress is pushing out toward the parking lot. As you see up on you'll see all the doors as egress to the parking lot. They're all swinging out. We're swinging in on the front, we're swinging out in the rear of the building.
Okay. And there's a residential lobby, is that correct?
Well, I call it a lobby, it's pretty much what I showed you in the photo, the existing that remains. That's the existing in the front of Wannabe Avenue. The rear will have a, open lobby there with enough space to stock up deliveries from Amazon, FedEx, UPS, DHL, and anybody else.
And the atrium is an entrance into just the commercial unit in the basement, is that correct?
The atrium, yes, it goes back to again, here's the basement area, brings you down but also into the corridor of the building as a means of egress. You need to use that from the basement to get out. We need 2 means of egress. One is coming into the atrium out to the second floor, and the other one is the existing stair that comes out in the rear of the building.
Does the elevator go to the basement?
Excuse me?
Does the elevator go to the basement?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's right here. See my arrow? That's the elevator there. And it's close to the staircase too as well. So if you don't want to wait for the elevator, you go up the stairs.
Yep. The apartments on the second floor,
Apartments on the second floor.
do the size of each apartment comply with the ordinance requirements?
Yes. I think the smallest apartment is 783 square feet, and there is 1-bedroom apartment. All the 2-bedrooms apartments are close to 1,000 square feet. And again, there was an issue as far as the comments from Collier's engineering and design concerning these particular balconies here. And the balconies there are to provide, windows to these bedrooms are located adjacent to each other. So, and we have these 2 bedrooms apartments, and where we opened up to have these balconies, also which creates, again, an item of interest as far as the design of the building. So this is the second floor residential area, right? And the elevator, again, it's here. Staircase is there. The roof plan, again, it shows all the units, air conditioning units, also an elevator, shaft, and machine room, whether we will require one, since, again.
I have kind of an important question for you regarding construction, and I think this is going to be in your court. My understanding is the second floor is going to be removed, and you're going to basically rebuild a brand-new second floor.
Correct.
Which means that there's got to be supports all over the place, because the existing building wouldn't be capable of that, right?
Well,
So
it
the-
is.
So the question that I have, can you explain the method that you're going to use to tear down, construct, maintain, if you're going to maintain businesses, and how we end up? I'm curious as to
Right.
how you put it together.
Okay. Unfortunately.
That's you?
No, that's not me.
That's not you?
That's not me. And as a matter of fact, we did provide, at the request of the mayor, full structural set of plans. So that were provided.
A structural engineer or
Yes,
another architect?
Structural engineer.
Just so the board knows, when we were in front of the redevelopment agency, we had complete structural plans, those issues were brought up. We had a soil test done, and we presented that testimony to the redevelopment agency.
I think his question was more, when it's done, how's that gonna be managed, not can it?
No, I do think it's appropriate to discuss it here. I don't need to see the structural drawings, but I'd like you to explain, because this is recorded, so people that have a question, including me, you start off with an old building, then you're gonna take out the top floor and the parapets,
Right.
and any mechanical equipment up there.
Yes.
And then you're gonna rebuild from bottom up supports, steel beams or steel columns, I assume?
No, not from bottom up, from the first floor up.
Okay,
So
well,
it's just the second floor that is getting renovated. And again, you already have framing in place right now. We have a second floor there. If you go down the street now, you'll see there is a second floor.
yeah,
So you're gonna remove the brick, you're gonna remove all the,
and the existing first floor walls will support what you're doing above?
if it's supporting it now, we'll support it then, yes.
Okay, and so you're gonna basically tear down the top floor. Are you maintaining the
You know,
businesses?
we may maintain some of the items that are there before we start to, again, do the selective demolition, okay? So we still want to maintain the building integrity in place to begin with. So, the demolition will be selective. Okay, let's take off the windows, let's take off the brick. Okay, let's keep the roof on top, we'll remove it later. Okay?
And you'll require, I assume, some blockage in the sidewalks? Or some overhead,
I'm sure
bracing?
there will be, yes, I'm sure that a scaffold will be put up and like in New York City, a sidewalk scaffold which.
I'm trying to get
people
what's
can-
here. I wanna see what you're gonna do in Pompton Lakes.
Well,
And
right.
whether it's you, or the owner, or
Yeah,
somebody
let-
else.
let him finish the question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, please let him finish it.
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah, I want to see how you're going to address the construction of the building, and if it's going to impact anything that this board is concerned about. And I think it's important that this board understands how this is going to take place. I mean, you showed us a pretty picture of what the building looks like. We see all the floor plans, that's all great. I want to know how you're going to do it. That's what it comes down to.
But as I mentioned to you, I'm not sure which, exactly how we're going to do it, okay?
But you have a plan.
But we have plans, we
And the
have
plans
structural
are?
plans that show us that we have to reinforce certain areas of the building,
Okay?
okay? And we have to also build those structural elements that are going to keep this building up. Now, as far as the demolition is concerned, as I mentioned to you, it will be selective. It's not that you're gonna come in and, boom, wipe out
Okay.
the second floor all at once. It will take it according to the schedule and how they're going to put it together, including the elevator that has to go down to the basement, through the stores. So all of that has to be properly managed.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, maybe I can help you with the redevelopment side of it, because I was at that meeting. What happened was they came to the board initially without the site plan proving that the building could hold the second floor.
Mhm.
So the redevelopment agency said, we're requesting to see structural support from that, and they came back to the next meeting with that structural support proof that the building could hold the second story on it. Because the redevelopment agency was very concerned, just like I think you guys are, that maybe that can't hold the second floor. But their report came back, and it was acceptable by the board at that time, that they can build on that second floor. Now, what you're asking about how they're gonna do it, we did not discuss the redevelopment, so that can be up to you, whatever you want.
Well, I'm looking at, it's a confined area in the sense that you have, the building is right up to the sidewalk, it's right up to the adjacent building almost. I want to make sure what we're doing is, if we were to approve this, that we're comfortable with the safety aspects of it too. And so that's why I'm trying to find out, how you, are you just going to wipe out the top, or are you going to do pieces? pieces is what you said, that's part of the solution.
See, I mean,
And-
so like this, so that this way we don't have to, again, disrupt also the retail activities that are happening there, right? The sidewalk activities of people walking by, that also all have to be coordinated properly.
Okay.
You know.
So,
It's, you know, it's a serious project.
so redevelopment had this all worked out, it would have been good for them to provide us with something to say,
Just the structural.
yeah, we don't need to see the structural elements, but
Yeah,
the
they-
fact that it was developed with a study and it was
And
approved.
they came back, in their defense, they did come back with a plan. Initially, they did not have one when they first came.
Mhm.
They came back with a plan that showed that the support was there to build the second story.
Okay.
The other question that came up in redevelopment, I'm sure it's gonna come up here, this is a county road. They'll request any type of, coverage for the county for sidewalks that doesn't come from the town. So
Mhm.
whatever the county's gonna require, they're gonna have to identify and do it.
And we'll stipulate any and all conditions, and it'll be subject to any conditions that your engineer may have. or your-
Yeah, and since it's on the sidewalks, which has got to be borough property, I think it's 0 foot, you're going to need agreement from the borough, all construction, times of construction, manner, all that.
We have no problem with that.
So,
Okay.
so that I'm clear too, we are expanding, and I didn't mention it, we are expanding the second floor of the building in the back.
Yes, saw that.
So that.
That was gonna be another
we over-
question.
Yeah, we over the atrium, right? And we also putting columns in the back to support
Mm.
that expansion over. So yes, I mean, it's going to be an interesting construction process. And I may not be around for that, but.
Okay.
And,
All right, anything else?
Do you have anything else you need to say, Gianni?
I'm gonna show that, we provided the elevations, yes, as you saw that, right? And, the signs that we just,
Right, we covered.
changed, we covered all this.
And the windows are good, you've stated that they're going to be suitable for fire escape?
Any other questions for?
Okay, any members of the board, well, let's ask the engineer and planner first, if they have any questions for Mr. Antilli.
I think I know the answer to this, but because I asked the engineer and I said I would ask you,
Yes.
was there any consideration for a green roof on the roof to help alleviate the
No,
impervious
there
coverage
was
even more?
no consideration whatsoever, having discussed that with the client.
Okay.
And it's more in terms of maintenance, and also.
That's usually an issue, unfortunately, yeah.
That's the major issue, but a cool roof, yes. It will be a white APDN. Yeah.
And then in terms of the units that you have on the roof, how high are they, the air conditioning units? Will they be seen from the street?
No, the
They-
parapet is about, I believe.
40-some inches, right?
I'm sorry?
40-some inches was the parapet?
I think it was, yeah. If it's not say 47 inches, I agree, 47 inches. So yes, you will not see it from the street, no. And they're mostly located toward the inside part of the roof as opposed to close to the edge.
Right.
Yeah. And the unit's only 30 inches high.
Thank you. That's it for me.
So who's the atrium? Is that serving the residents upstairs?
To some extent, it does too, as a means of egress.
I'm just
The
trying to,
basement.
the basement,
Yeah, means of egress from the basement.
I understand, but does it also serving upstairs? No, okay.
No, wait a minute. If somebody wants to come in from the atrium, to go to the basement, go to the laundry room.
I'm not talking about to go downstairs. I'm asking if the atrium goes upstairs.
No.
Okay. I would also suggest that the board consider, so when a business has a front door on the street, let's say Main Street in a generic sense, and a door on the parking lot, it is not uncommon that a business evolves to discontinue use sometimes of the Main Street door, which is detrimental to the corridor, to the business district. I would suggest that the board may want to make a condition of approval that frontage, main door for each business needs to remain in use, in order to prevent the deadening of that street.
It is in use.
Correct.
She
it
doesn't
is.
want, she doesn't want anything like somebody closing up the door, packing things in front of it and saying, use the back.
I
Exactly.
think we have an ordinance in place that they have to use the front door, but I'd have to check that, I'm not sure if that, this is the one store we had.
We'll let Andy look into it. If it's covered, it's covered. If it's not, it's a simple add.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Anything else? Any members of the board have questions for Mr. Antilli?
Yes, sir.
First of all, I think, like I said before, I think it's a great looking project, we know what it is, how it looks now, what you're planning on. Really, it's my job of how it's gonna change and look. A couple things you might want to take into account, we're going through it now with the businesses. You're putting those trees in front of the signs, okay? I'm getting complaints from businesses that they can't see the signs because the trees are blocking the signs from the street. So either you gotta make the trees higher or work with that, because we're gonna be taking some trees out right now that are having the same issues, they're blocking the signs. So as I see what you put up there, the trees are right in front of the signs that you say you have in front of the stores. So you really can't, if you look at them, you really can't see the signs from the street. So that's gonna be a concern to people going in there. You mentioned something about the bodega, if you just wanna cover that, or somebody else is gonna talk about that, I don't know. Is that staying or not staying, or?
No, can't, you're not sworn in.
I think the owner will talk about it.
Okay. So then the other question is, and I think the chairman touched on this, we have some established businesses there that are a long time. I'm sure the landlord, I think he had mentioned before, he's gonna give them first right to stay there. But is there a chance that we are going to be closing businesses to do this work that you're doing?
The landlord will respond to that.
Okay.
I think there is a way to maintain the operation going during the construction process, provided there are certain ways of protecting those establishments running, that will not, that they have a roof over their heads. If they don't, then it's going to be difficult. But there is ways of doing it, and I think the owner will talk about that.
All right, then the last question I had, is just, we talked about this, redevelopment. Is it gonna be a management group on the site?
The owner.
The owner, yeah, okay. So I got.
Okay, any other members of the board have questions?
I'll go out of order and just with the things that I think of. I do have a bunch of questions written down. My first question is about, I love what you did with the facade, the faces. I especially love what you did with the back face and how that can kind of create a more inviting presence, from the retail to the side of the street and the retail to the back of the street, as well as, the other redevelopment project that we have around that area, the Lakeside residents. The only question that I have for now, before I look through my notes, is why did you, I know you believe in switching up materials, you like the different faces, that's all very well and good. Why did you decide on the color scheme and the materials that you did? Again, just thinking how this suits the rest of the town, the other redevelopment projects in the area.
I think we touched base with, God rest his soul,
Andy.
Bless him.
I'm sorry, name was Andy
Silverstein.
Mr. Silverstein. We touched base on that. To begin with, I was, actually, this is a little toned down. Well, let's put it this way, as far as design, it was more modernistic before. But they liked the idea of having a diversity in the town as far as the building designs and the building materials
Can't
being
change
used.
that anyway, right?
Okay.
The color.
I went around town and I looked at the new construction, the new residential buildings, the new school there. I think you carry on the same brick color throughout. And this one here was just started as being different. And again, Mr. Silverstein was more accommodating and more welcoming. Modernist design that is atypical for what is in the town. And again, if I look into the context of the town, it's very difficult to find a building that one would say, perhaps, we should emulate this particular building or not.
And just so you know, the development of this project went through the redevelopment agency.
Okay.
Once they approve it, we don't get to change the appearance, the size of the building, things like that. We can talk about impacts or site plan, but we're more or less obligated to take the building as it was approved at the redevelopment agency.
No, I was going to say, I know that we have limited jurisdiction on
Yeah.
what we can vote on, but I did want to raise the question and see if that was
But,
discussed with the
With the
redevelopment
owner,
agency.
we agreed that keeping the limestone front, in the front of the building, with the Washington on it, and that's what we call this particular project, the Washington. Keeping, again, that's the only thing we kept in place.
Okay. The trees that you talked about for the signage, are those pre-existing trees, or did you say that you had to plant some of them?
Right, some of them are new according to our landscaping plan provided by our civil engineer. We
Okay.
talked about it before. So there is shrubs, there is trees, planting,
Okay.
and the renderings here reflect all of that verbatim.
hmm
So,
Was there a reason that, I don't know, the ones in the back are pink trees, the ones that you see in the front are different? Is there a reason why there's a difference in the trees? And do
Well,
these
you know-
trees match the existing in the
right,
in the downtown?
it goes back to, again, to the
Okay.
redevelopment board,
Okay.
where they gave us a list of trees, planting, everything else. And there was also a discussion of what to use. So, again, verbatim, we use what they recommended. We changed the articulation of it. So if you look in the plan, say A, B, C, D, we went A, B, C, A, D, C, we changed the articulation, again, according to Collier's engineers in design during the redevelopment application.
Again, just a curiosity, I was
Sure.
wondering if it was discussed.
Okay, any other questions?
Can I jump in again?
What?
Are these renderings, have they been submitted to the board as part of this application? I'm just wondering because how do we know when it's being built that this, let's say the similar materials or the similar look is being constructed? Like, I wouldn't have a way to reference that after the fact. Renderings are beautiful and they're
We
always.
submitted a brick sample and a sample of the
Didn't they approve
They
the?
were
rain
submitted?
screen to the redevelopment board.
To the redevelopment board.
The redevelopment agency, the redevelopment agreement has the renderings attached.
It does.
And it's a requirement that they do in compliance with
I
that.
wasn't a part of
Yep.
that, so I
Yep, there's
apologize
no
for
doubt.
asking
Samples of the
questions.
material.
And the samples. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
One thing that I forgot to ask, can you speak to the balcony, because it looks very awkward, and I'm wondering what the reasoning was behind that?
Giving the bedrooms a window.
Fire exit from the bedrooms.
Fire ingress and also natural ventilation to bedrooms.
Oh, I'm not doubting why there would be a window there, but I'm speaking specifically to the balcony.
Yeah.
If I could just
Balcony
jump,
was put in place there in order to provide on each side of the balcony, those apartments with bedroom windows. Windows. to
Would you
bedroom.
not be able to have bedroom windows there if it was just a roof beneath it?
You meaning to cover that? You still have the balconies, right? Yeah.
I'm saying, I don't understand.
They
at
would
all
meet
what
with
you're
a
saying.
wall, no?
I mean, it's already
Yeah.
approved anyway by redevelopment.
Just be a wall.
So we can't touch
change
that.
Yeah.
Of course you can.
No, we
The
can't.
building is fixed, the room sizes are fixed.
Okay.
Redevelopment provides us with the basic context
well,
of the
no,
building.
what's the question?
The balcony that
Right,
is in the
it's
middle
this
of
way.
the building,
Right.
In the rear.
why is that a balcony space as opposed to just windows looking out onto a inset area?
I think it's just being called a balcony. I don't think it's something where people are gonna be walking out onto from those two apartments,
So you
right?
can, yeah. you
But they
can.
do have access.
You do have access?
It's not fixed.
That's cool.
Not necessarily fixed, I think she's trying to understand. Is it true that they're not gonna, people are, I think that's what you're trying to say. Is this a, when you say balcony, can people go out there and hang out and have a barbecue, or this is just a space that you can look out onto?
You can go out, you can bring a chair out, you can read a book, you can smoke a cigarette,
Okay.
smoke a,
So there's not just windows, there's doorway.
yes, I don't know. Let me see if I can enlarge this. What is the zoom?
What?
No, that's zoom is there.
Yeah, I think I just want to, I think she just wants to clarify, what is this right now? Let's
Okay, so
start
you
there.
see bedroom, this bedroom, and these are the bedroom. They're equal. One mirrors each other almost, right? And you're coming into the kitchen area. You have living, well, dining, living, and then you have the bath. And
Yeah,
the
I
two bedrooms-
understand the floor plan. I'm questioning the desirability of having that very long shared, right next, abutting space with two tenants.
Well, yeah, as I mentioned, I needed to provide windows.
But providing windows is different than providing doors, right?
What do you mean by providing doors?
I mean, you have doors out onto a shared,
Yes,
into
I
a
have
abutting
doors,
open
yeah,
space.
right here.
That's not,
These are the doors.
What is the divider down the middle?
Do you see anything unappealing?
It's
What
going
is,
to be
is
a
a divider
railing.
down the middle?
Railing, yeah.
Just confused about these balconies.
Is that a wall?
No, railing.
Really?
Balconies lead you to be able to charge greater rent.
The access is only from those two
I
units,
also
though.
think it
It's
brings
not
up
from
the
the
side and
building.
back.
One second, I had a question for the mayor. What was the question?
I'm curious myself, is that something we can even question at this board from redevelopment?
It's an internal.
You can have minor
There's-
deviations,
there's
so
one
not
on one
having,
side, one on one
one
side,
second.
A rail in between it, and the left.
It would be my interpretation that changing those doors, as long as it's, the building is staying the same, access to, wouldn't be a major change. I don't think that was, so if this board decided and the applicant decided that having doors add on to that were not a good idea, it's my, opinion, knowing this, and that you can have some deviations, it would not require the need to go back to the board, to the redevelopment agency. Yep, yep.
So those two doors are strictly for the bedroom, I mean, for the units on either side of it.
Right.
There's no other access,
That is
no
correct.
outside, no other apartments. So it's like a private balcony, I guess, for two units.
correct. My question was, why are they balconies and not just windows?
Provides value to the apartment. They can charge more for it. That's why.
Because people like,
I understand people like balconies, I don't know, I would not like a balcony that is right against my neighbor for 30 feet, but I guess some people do.
I don't think, and I could be wrong, I don't think it changes the, whether or not this complies to the redevelopment and the master plan.
No.
I could be thinking
No,
wrong, I
but,
can't
mean,
understand
we're
though.
here to ask questions, and that was my question. I wasn't questioning whether or not this has anything to do with the master plan.
No, yeah, my answer is in order to provide windows, I think egress windows for the the bedrooms, bedroom one on each unit.
And I'm agreeing with the councilman in the fact that, it's a selling point, right? If somebody wants about people sit outside and have an area, they'll pay a little bit more for that. So,
If they don't want it, they don't rent it.
Is that balcony connected to the staircase, though?
No,
No, because you mentioned it was an egress for the bedrooms. They
the
go out into
window,
balcony.
the windows are the egress. So from the window, in case of a fire, get out of the window,
Right.
go to the balcony, and hopefully there will be a fireman at the end of the balcony.
But it's a door, not a window, is it not?
There's doors and windows.
It's also doors, yes.
In the bedroom itself, there's a window to this
Oh.
little balcony.
Right, but we have
So-
doors too, so that if you're in the apartment, you wanna go outside, you don't go through the window in the back, bedroom, right?
Correct.
So we
Correct.
have doors too, yeah.
I personally, I don't see a problem with it. The person that rents the space is gonna have to decide whether or not they like that or not.
Yep.
It's functional in its own sense, but I think it becomes a personal opinion, depending on the person that's renting.
If there is issues of privacy, you can always put some plants in front of grow. Grow some plants.
Okay, any other members of the board have questions? Thank you, Mr. Antilli.
Thank you.
Our next witness is Gabe Baylor, professional planner.
Please remain standing, raise your right hand, state your name, spell your last.
Sure. Gabe Baylor, B-A-I-L-E-R.
You swear or affirm the testimony you'll give this evening before this board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Mr. Baylor, you're a licensed professional planner in the state of New Jersey, is that correct?
Yes, I've been licensed professional planner since 2007. I'm also a member of American Institute Certified Planner since 2007, so 18 years. I've testified boards across New Jersey, some in the vicinity here include Wayne, Ridgewood, Passaic, and Fair Lawn.
Thank you. Acceptable.
Thank you. Mr. Baylor, in preparation for tonight's meeting, have you reviewed the zoning ordinances in the borough of Pompton Lakes?
Yes, and this, take a step back, this is in terms of the property. It's identified, it's located at 125 Wanacue Avenue. It's identified as block 3101, lot 4.01. As Mr. Beltry mentioned before, it was previously two different lots in terms of the the commercial and office space and the parking lot, but it was combined to lot 4.01. In terms of where the property is located, it's in downtown Pompton Lakes. There's surrounding commercial on Wanacue, and then as well, there's several multifamily developments surrounding the area. There's one to the east on Colfax Avenue, there's one to the south on Wanacue Avenue, and there's one to the northeast off of Lakeside Avenue. So what we're proposing is consistent with the surrounding characteristics, and as mentioned before, this proposed residential use in the second floor is a permitted use. In terms of where the property is located zoning-wise, it's under our opinion that it's located in the downtown redevelopment area 1DRA1. However, if it is considered a split zone, it does not impact the requested variances that we were requesting tonight. So it is the same. In terms of the DRA1 zone, the purpose of that zone states that so there may be a provision in downtown Pompton Lakes for capital investment in quality mixed-use properties, including the provision of quality retail and residential opportunities, as well as community facilities developed in concert with the pre-existing service businesses in downtown Pompton Lakes. As mentioned before, there's several variances related to this conversion of the upper floor from office to 8 residential units, one bedroom and 7 2-bedroom units. And in terms of the criteria, there's the C1, I'm sure the board is familiar, the C1, which is the hardship, as well as the C2, where the purposes of zoning will be advanced and the benefits derived by the variance will outweigh any detriments. As well, I also have to prove the negative criteria, where the variances can be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and where it will not substantially impair the intent and purpose of the zone plan and zoning ordinance. In my opinion, the variances meet the criteria of the C2 criteria. The first one is the maximum impervious coverage. What is maximum permitted is 85%. What is existing is 100%. However, what's proposed is 96.7%. So we're reducing that existing non-conforming condition and reducing by 3.3% by adding some new landscaping surrounding the parking lot. As well, the variance is required for minimum side yard setback. This is an existing condition. A minimum 10 feet is required, and what's existing is 0.3 feet. So there's no change in that. That is the existing condition. In terms of the location of parking, as mentioned before by our engineer, this is a corner lot, so it has multiple front yards. So the parking is off of Colfax, and based on the opinion that this is in the front yard, this is an existing condition, it's not being changed, so we require variance for that. In terms of parking, with the new proposed 8 residential units and the ground floor commercial, a total of 65 parking spaces are required. We are now going to be providing 20 physical parking spaces. We're not using loading area as a flexible parking space. So we're proposing 20 parking spaces and 2 EV parking spaces. So that gives us a credit of 22 parking spaces where 65 are required. But however, as testified before and mentioned, based on the existing conditions of the ground floor commercial and the office space, that would require 78 parking spaces. So what we're actually proposing is reducing the existing non-conforming condition by 13 parking spaces. In terms of the parking layout, as mentioned before during testimony, that each of the new 8-bedroom apartments will have 2 parking spaces each. They'll be assigned to it. I believe the hours testified will be reserved from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. That could be changed, that could be flexible, but there will be signage related to these new residential units that will be reserved parking for these units. There is signage being proposed. It is our opinion that no variance is required. However, if it is determined that a variance is required, we'll amend it anyway, so we'll provide signage that will be variance-free. In terms of the loading area, previously there was no loading area. The applicant, understanding the need for a loading area based on the ground floor commercial uses and the layout of Wanacue Avenue, is now providing a loading area off of Colfax Avenue. A variance is required for that because it's located, as mentioned, in the front yard, since it is considered a corner lot, has multiple side yards. And as well, there's a variance provided for loading setback, where 25 feet is required, where 3 feet is proposed. But as mentioned, there was no loading area previously, so this is something new that will help the layout of the building, support the ground floor commercials, and hopefully will not have any impact on the flow of Wanacue Avenue. In terms of the positive criteria with the municipal land use law, I feel that this project supports purpose A, to encourage municipal action, guide the appropriate use of development of all lands in a state and manner which will promote the public health, safety, moral, and general welfare. What we're providing is new residential opportunities that is consistent with the surrounding new multifamily developments being built in downtown Pompton Lakes, and also supporting the surrounding businesses by having new residential residents in this area to support the downtown business. As well, I think this project supports purpose C, to provide adequate light, air, and open space. We're not going to have any impact on the surrounding area, light of the surrounding properties. This will be a new aesthetically pleasing design as testified by the architect. We'll have a new facade, will complement the surrounding area, it will add character to the surrounding area of this historic building. It's kind of retrofitting the historic nature of the building and giving new light to it. As well, I feel that this project also supports purpose E, to promote the establishment of appropriate population densities and concentrations that will contribute to the well-being of persons, neighborhoods, communities, and environment. As testified previously, this new residential development is within downtown Pompton Lakes, supports the surrounding businesses, and complements the existing character and the redevelopment efforts of downtown Pompton Lakes. As well, in terms of the master plan, this project meets several goals of the 2017 master plan reexamination within the goal of downtown revitalization. The goal is to revitalize the downtown business district with market-driven redevelopment initiatives that foster private development. As well, create a new character for the downtown that capitalizes on unique topography, waterfront location and mass transit access, as well encourage the development of mixed-use buildings that contain street-level retail with office or residentials on the upper floors, and as well maintain and enhance the existing downtown business space and encourage a mix of uses that provide employment, small-scale retail, services, eateries, and entertainment. It is my opinion that this project supports all those goals mentioned within the 2007 master plan. As well, in my opinion, this project will have no negative criteria. These variances are all basically existing conditions. They're not being exasperated. They're actually, two of them are actually being reduced. And as well, in terms of, my opinion, there will be no impact on the purposes of the Pompton Lakes master plan or zoning ordinance. And this project, in my opinion, in reviewing and going to the site and looking around Pompton Lakes, is consistent with the character and supports the overall vision of downtown redevelopment.
Thank you.
I have no further questions.
Let me hear from our planner or engineer first.
I have no questions.
Okay.
Neither do I.
Any board members have questions of the planner? Okay, well, it sounds like, you did your homework and you've identified the fact that it satisfies the requirements for a project like this, so we thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks, Gabe.
One more witness.
Is that the owner?
Joseph Santor, with one of the owners, member of the LLC.
I'll probably address this one. The redevelopment agreement has certain requirements that have to be in this. One is compliance with the borough's affordable housing obligation. Have you had any discussion with Triad, how many units that's
Yes, I did. I shared an email with Captain, I don't want to mispronounce her name.
I just didn't see it, but as long as you've had those discussions so far.
She indicated that there would be one unit, and we're going to designate the one-bedroom unit for affordable housing.
Okay.
So is she saying, the co-obligation was only one, is that what you're saying?
That's what
So he's saying it has to be in writing and Triad has to confirm that. That's part of the requirement. It's going to be a condition in here and it's a condition that it has to be confirmed in writing by the borough's consultant.
Joseph Santor.
Oh yeah, please stand, raise your right hand, state your name, spell your last.
Joseph Santoro, S-A-N-T-O-R-O.
Do you, please remain standing. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give this evening before this board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You may proceed.
Joe, you are a member of the LLC, that is the applicant, and also the owner of the property. Is that
Yes.
correct? You heard some questions before about construction and how you're going to be handling the existing tenants
Yes.
on the first floor. Explain to the board what you envision happening.
Well, I did hear somebody say something about the corner bodega. That they were leaving.
So one of your guys said it.
Yeah, I definitely do not want any of my tenants to leave. I want them to remain during construction, but there may be one that may have to go. Because, if you can see the plans, there is a staircase. I don't want it to happen, but at the same time, they do need their own renovation, if that makes sense. And if they're not willing to comply, I don't want a risk or a liability at the same time. But everyone, I want to remain. Obviously, I do have fairly new tenants. They all have leases, so, yeah. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Any other questions?
Well, with the construction procedures, so you intend not only to keep the tenants, but to keep them during the construction?
Correct.
Okay. Board members have any questions of Mr.
There was
Santor?
one question that came up in redevelopment, I'll bring it up here just so you guys have the same advantage. The question came up while construction was going on, how would the retailers have use of bathrooms if they had to close down a bathroom, for example, to do the work? And you maybe want to address that or not?
Is this for the retail?
Retail.
So, I think the corner, the bodega, they are actually up to code, I believe. They just renovated the store, so they're ADA. I'm sure some stores will be willing to work with other stores if their bathroom has to get renovated, and closed.
Yeah,
And, yeah.
And then I just had the one question, I don't know if you're gonna ask it. Do you plan on having, I just want to know on the record, do we have a management team on this, or how's this working?
As far as,
Who's gonna manage the property?
yeah, we are.
You'll have some, not on site, obviously, is someone on site?
No, not living on site, no.
All right, so our.
Well, you never know.
Well, the concern is that we want to keep the numbers of people living in the apartments to the numbers of bedrooms that you have, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to overcrowd any of these, and I don't want to have inspectors going in to check that. I'm leaving it on the management or whoever's doing that to be on top of that to make sure that does not happen.
Yeah,
So
no.
just, that's, you got new apartments, you got new buildings, you want them to.
Yes, of course, yes.
Do you have any idea how much of the parking lot in the back is gonna be occupied by supplies, construction equipment, and so forth during the actual construction, since there's no...
I mean, I'm gonna give you a number right now, it's probably gonna be 50%. That would be comfortable with the contractor and, myself as well.
It's not unreasonable, actually, considering what you're doing.
Yeah.
So the retail, you have 6 units?
Correct.
6 on the first floor. You have the large one on the one end, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that as you go north, you have 5 more. There's a couple empty right now?
Yeah, there's one.
One. That's the bigger one, retail
Yeah.
5?
Yeah.
Okay. And 6, the new stairway, that's the one you were talking about, that you're adding a stairway?
Yes.
And that's still negotiating?
When the time comes, yes, if they're willing to comply.
I like the building. I mean, I think, your team has come up with some good plans for this. Washington Building has a lot of history in town, so.
Yes. He didn't show you the old, I had another picture that I actually added to his drop box. It's one of the oldest photos that I've seen. You guys don't even have it.
Really?
We're talking, back in the day.
We have it hanging in the room right here, we have.
No, I think I might have one older than, yeah.
Well, take a look at that one when we're done, if you want.
I'll check it out, but yeah, it's crazy.
So the other question-
for the historical commission?
Yeah, I could always, email.
Thank you.
The other question, just, again, to put it on record, because he wasn't here about the pets.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna not bring it up because some people are, pet lovers. I like pets too, but I don't, usually like tenants that have pets because they damage and, you can't take a deposit for them either, so.
Tell me about the retail in the basement.
So there's a retail under where Jimmy the Shoe Doctor was, which is, where the bodega is now. We're calling it the bodega.
The food store.
Yeah, the food store. He used to take up, I think, more than half the basement.
So what is your intention for the retail in the basement?
I think, are we calling it retail or retail office?
Retail, I think.
It's not retail office?
Retail.
It's retail? Okay.
Concern I have is, retail means most cases, people are going to visit.
Yeah.
And your foot traffic, it's kind of an awkward situation to get in there down and into the basement as retail, as compared to if it was let's say a Wi-Fi business where you basically do everything online. And then I'd be concerned about, and I know we have 2 exits, so that's okay, but is there any other use you could see using for the retail? I mean,
office.
Does it affect anything in your building? The office would use How many, do you remember how many spots are assigned to that office?
It's all
At that retail?
calculated, it was already calculated in the engineer's.
As office?
Yeah, no, I'm saying,
As retail?
for retail, yeah. So he already did that with the parking calculations. He included that.
Okay, is it, are you opposed to not using it for retail if it was a better use?
Well, what's a better use?
An office or something that doesn't require foot traffic? That's what I was trying, and I'm not saying you have to do that because, you know, you're certainly entitled to that. I'm just
Yeah,
wondering if,
it's certainly something I could think about. We can think about it. I have to
I
discuss it with
wouldn't,
my family.
I'm not asking for it to be a condition. I'm just saying, you know, from a practical point of view.
I mean, I think me personally, and I speak for myself, you know, I obviously have to talk to my brother and my sister. I'm open to office. I don't think there's anything else really.
No, the only thing else that could be is
Unless I load
storage.
servers down there and start mining Bitcoin or something.
There you go.
I don't know.
Okay, anyone else have any questions for Mr. Santoro?
How many square feet is that space, by the way?
The basement?
The basement?
Well, because he has the gym and the storage and things like that. How big's the retail?
The basement retail?
The basement retail that we were just talking about. I mean, ballpark.
1694, 1,694.
That's good.
Are we still on that question, or are we open to other questions? I know construction was a concern and that we brought it up earlier with the engineer and the architect. As the owner, do you have any other additional, you know, comments to put this board at ease with the logistics of the construction? Anything kind of open comments, you know, what your plans are for the construction, anything in that vein?
As far as construction goes, I think we're all trying to do it as safely as possible, and it would be something that I would have to obviously discuss and map out with the contractor. And obviously, it's like building a home. You would start from the foundation up, and then, you know, we go on the outside, protect everything, put the scaffolding up. If that's what you're asking, you know. And then usually, I don't know, in that case, we would build the shell underneath the existing roof. And then when it's time, you blow it out and put it in. I don't know, I'm just saying, from experience.
Well, it's got to go through the code official, so.
Yeah.
You know, that,
Flammable, safety codes.
yes,
building.
and, you know, the building department will take over once this hearing is
Correct.
done. If it should be approved, then the next thing to do is to get the plans formalized and sent to, building department. Do you have kind of an idea when you'd like to work on this? Roughly?
As soon as possible, within the next year, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea of timeline for how long you think a project like this would take? Not that it depends, our approval depends on it, just curiosity.
I'm gonna say 2 years, I don't know. I could just shoot that out, it could be less, could be more. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one last question, just about the gym, because we're all from Pompton, you know?
Yeah.
So the gym has membership that comes in and out, right? They
Yeah.
work out. Where are they parking now? Are they parking in
Well,
the
the
back?
gym is not there no longer.
Oh.
Is there a gym still there?
No, they left, it's the empty space that somebody brought up before.
Side on the front door.
Yeah.
Because I get calls about the other gym. Okay.
Yeah, we don't know what's gonna be there yet.
No, well, yes, the gym, that's what I'm saying, you have a gym downstairs for the tenants, right?
Well, it is on paper, it's if I actually want to do it. From a liability standpoint, I don't think I'm gonna put a gym, to be honest with you. I'm just being honest with
How
you.
about a town swimming pool? Can we get you to do that?
Can you fit 20 spots in the basement?
It sounds good, but then once someone throws a weight on their foot and then, you know, I'm just,
Okay, well, whatever you do down there, once, if this gets approved, you know, you're locked into certain things, so you.
oh, yeah, of
You
course.
can't add something that is not compatible.
Yeah,
or,
no, of course.
You know, so you'd have to come back for something if you needed to.
Agreed.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, anyone? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Does that complete your testimony?
It does.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to open the meeting for public comment. Is there anyone from the audience that would like to ask any questions of the applicant's professionals? Seeing none, close the public comment session. Thank you. Mr. Veltri, it's all yours, sir.
Yeah, very briefly, we're making proposed changes and improvements which we think benefit the community, the surrounding property owners, and obviously modernizes and improves our building. We've tried to hit all the bases in town through the redevelopment agency to this board. We're going to comply with all of the conditions imposed by Mr. Brewer that we've stipulated to, cooperate with your professionals and your building department, and we hope that this application is approved and we can continue to have a Washington building that thrives in town for the future.
Thank you. Does anyone have any other questions before we go further? Professionals, you're good with so far? Okay. All right, I'm going to open up the meeting once more to anyone in the public who wishes to make a statement. Seeing none, we'll close that. So, board, it's time for deliberation. I'd like to hear comments or opinions on the project and/or a motion as to what your preferences are.
I'll make a motion to approve application PB 2504.
Okay. We have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Bowlby. Okay, with that said, we know we have conditions.
Yep.
You're going to include those in a resolution.
Yep, it'd be preliminary and final with the variances. It's kind of the application as amended, because you amended it to take out the variances for the sign, but it's to be preliminary and final as amended, along subject to all the conditions that were tonight. I could read a few that I stored, but just so you know, they're going to put in a seepage pit rather than a direct connection to the inlet. The condition that they will require that the garbage hauler have a smaller than the normal 35-foot truck to be reviewed, and the requirement to be reviewed and approved by the board engineer. There'll be, the leases will have a no pets condition. They'll comply with all the fire department requirements, comply with any MUA requirements. Signage. You're going to need some type of developer's agreement with the borough on construction, use of the sidewalks, and those related issues. Condition that they'll always have the doors available and open on the Wanacue Avenue. Can't close them. They're going to comply with the affordable housing obligation as set forth in the redevelopment agreement. And those are the conditions, and anything else that's in the record, but those are the ones that I took down.
You're okay with all of that,
Yes.
right?
I think it's accurate.
Okay, anyone else have any comments?
I know we already have, I just wanted to give a thesis before we go to a vote. It seems like we're mostly supportive, but just in case, I just wanted to say that very good presentation. Thank you to you. Thank you to all the professionals for doing this for us today. And I just wanted to say that based on your application, I think that it is a project that we should approve. Just going off of a couple things that I thought of, this is a critical use. This is a high foot traffic pivotal spot in town that we are looking to improve upon in a historic building. It fulfills the redevelopment goals and the goals that we have for the planning board. That seems fine with me. I see that you've done a lot of effort in creative use, in improving the facility, in making the spaces as nice as possible, making it architecturally nice, as well as working with the aesthetic of the town. You've been more than willing to work with the board and the redevelopment agency, and it seems finally like the variances seem relatively minor, and it seems that we are reducing the pre-existing conditions and making incremental gains towards the goals that we want in town. There are problems that we've addressed, such as the garbage, the parking, the construction. However, I think that these are nothing that we cannot work through, and that as a whole, the application is still, sound for the planning board based on what we are allowed to vote on and what we are not.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call? Anyone else? We have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Mr. Simone,
Yes.
Mr. Otto,
Yes.
Dr. Pendexter,
Yes.
Mr. Bowlby,
Yes.
Mayor Sarah,
Yes.
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
and Mr. Bootsma,
Yes.
and Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your presentation. I wish you good luck with the project. Thanks for coming to Pompton. Tom, it's good seeing you again. Johnny, it's good seeing you again.
Congratulations on your retirement.
Congratulations.
It's good seeing you again. Be well.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Let's see, Philly.
Yes.
The meeting's still going.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the resolution.
Tell him I said hello.
Busy making wine.
Yeah, of course.
And drinking, right?
Don't
You'll
forget
be
we
done
have
really
batteries
quick.
there. Or-
We just got to talk about this and
And the
that.
resolution.
Oh, yeah, the resolution.
Oh, that blue one, yeah. that's
714,
it.
720.
Yeah, Gianni, don't forget your blue, cord there.
Yeah, I want
Okay.
And the computer didn't lie.
Somewhere. Resolution, okay. We have a resolution that we have to vote on, granting preliminary and final major site plan approval and variances for 714 to 720 Hamburg Turnpike, block 9001, lot 11. We have a substantial length, resolution by Mr. Brewer. Anything in particular you want to comment upon?
No, I think I got all the conditions. They have the affordable housing, you have the fence that'll be a little extra high. You give the variance to give shielding, and it was, really the presentation, with the conditions that were stated on the record. Preliminary and final site plan, this was along on Hamburg Turnpike. They went down from 10 units down to 8. They're gonna change the parking, you're no longer gonna have through, parking, the driveway access in the back being cut off because of, the replacement of the garbage dumpster. But other than that, it was as presented.
Very good. We need a roll call vote on that, please.
Is there a motion to approve it?
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Good. Thank you.
Woo.
Motion to approve the resolution.
Aye.
Mr. Bootsma?
Go ahead.
What do I say? I say first or I say aye? Motion.
Okay,
Motion to
make a
approve the
motion to approve
resolution.
resolution number, it's, for application PB 2501.
And I need a second.
Second.
Second? Okay, have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor? No.
No.
Roll call.
Roll call. Mr. Simone?
Yes.
Mr. Otto?
Present.
Dr. Pendexter?
Present.
Mr. Bowlby?
Reluctantly, yes.
Mayor Sarah?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
Mr. Bootsma?
Yes.
And Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Thank
You
you.
guys were all here for that, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, the last item on the agenda is a discussion of a Township of Wayne ordinance that they have prepared, which we have discussed here briefly before, and it has to do with land development in Wayne, and it has to do with recommended changes, structures, and uses, and also another one on requirements for site development where you have to come up with pictures, dated photographs, depending on what's going on the application. We're not here to actually approve anything, we're just here to discuss it. The advantages of the photographs are substantial because not always do we see exactly what's going on with these projects. I think it is a good idea to have photographs presented to us, and their rationale was dated April 16, 2025. And for example, They want dated photographs for, depending on the kind of application, showing the property, the front of the property, from any street, the proximity of adjacent properties, work location. It's a substantial number of photographs indicating that, you know, we get to see the property, even though we may have been there ourselves. These will be part of the record. And the other one, talks about repairs and maintenance work required to keep a structure in sound condition. I think you're just looking for kind of a suggestion from us that it's okay to do these. I mean, we can't do them, obviously, there's ordinance gonna come from you guys, but does anyone see any negatives to having these two types of proposals for the council?
Well, it's a cost involved, right? So they gotta do whatever they gotta do to make that happen.
Well, but the timing of when you do that is your call, and the fact that we would recommend, for example, that you do consider it, it's a recommendation, it's just
No, you're making a recommendation.
yeah, so we're not binding you on anything at this point.
No, not cost to us, I'm talking about cost to the person.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, there's a cost to make the resolutions and stuff, or the ordinances, but, yeah, it is a cost to take pictures, but, you know, in construction, also, we always required pre-construction photographs of projects that we design, because there's always the person who comes up and says, that big crack in my wall over there happened because you guys did it, and then you go to the photograph and you find it's been that way for 20 years. So these photographs would help us make a decision, but it would also serve kind of as a record of conditions prior to the construction or whatever they're doing. Have you guys come across that, you know, a recommendation for that?
In the context of the letter you got from Wayne, I'm not quite sure the context of them sending you that, but is that?
They gave it to us
something
because
they're proposing,
they're required to notify.
It's a draft ordinance,
It's a
draft
Jason.
ordinance in Wayne.
Yeah, so it's what they're gonna do.
In the situation where a contractor's, let's say, drilling piles or, you know, installing piles, I would say pre-construction photos are a must, especially for your own infrastructure, not just for adjacent properties. With a project like this, for instance, that was presented today, I wouldn't consider it necessary.
Well, these are pre-construction, but more importantly, they're pre-approval.
They're for the board, like, on a checklist item.
Oh,
You
I
have
see.
photographs, so
Existing
the board can be
conditions.
familiar with what everything looks like.
So when they're presented to us as a board member, we can see it. I use the construction example as a way that you can tell whether something was right or changed.
Sure.
But basically speaking, it's for us to use now.
I've done a lot of work on the private side, and we've always submitted pictures as part of our applications.
Yeah, I've seen towns that the checklist, the submission checklist requires site photographs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so would the board be, you know, would consider just sending a recommendation to the council that they consider these?
Sure. No skin off my back.
pictures are always helpful.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we could just send a consent?
Would that be as part of the application, or just like the presentation in front of the board?
Well, it would ultimately be part of the application. It would be a requirement of the checklist.
And
Would there be a-
satisfy that just for the presentation to the board?
That's, the issue with that is it's not a requirement. You'd have to put it in somewhere, like, the information that's in the checklist is typically what they have to do. You can ask for it, but you're asking for it at that point. That's the difficulty.
Or they could ask that cannot be provided if it's a simple project, for
Well,
example.
that's what I was trying to get at, right? If it's a simple, that's where the distinction is. If there's a simple, and that's something we'll talk about on our end. If it's a simple home project, requiring all these steps for that, you know, I agree with pilings and all that, of course you want to do that. But someone's putting an addition on their house, are we looking at that?
Well, a checklist item can always be granted a waiver.
Yes. And it's very simple to get a waiver. You just put it right in the
Yeah.
application.
Yeah, on the checklist, I don't remember how Pompton Lakes checklist is, but usually it'll be like submitted, not submitted, waiver requested.
Right.
And if it's something obvious, like what you're saying, any board with common sense would say that makes sense.
Who makes that, is the board who makes that?
Well,
Dave?
We would call it out in our completeness review, and then when it came to the board, we could say, they asked for X, Y, and Z waivers, and we think that that's
So
appropriate.
I think, I don't want to add another meeting to.
No, it doesn't need to be another meeting.
Yeah, okay, that's fine with me.
Now, was there a number of photos or a number of angles that were,
Yeah, they had a list here where, depending on the kind of project, for example, they had, there's one here for preliminary and final major site plan. Another one for a use variance. And they want dated photographs showing, and then they list the things they want to show. So each type of application had a requirement of photographs that were kind of related to the detail of that project. And, yeah, they could ask for the waiver or not. I mean,
Wouldn't that be up to the board to decide?
that'd be how the ordinance is
Yeah.
written, the ordinance.
ultimately, yes, and that's why they said that we would basically get a recommendation on whether or not it should be granted, and then we can decide.
And I'll tell you where it came into effect for this board. Meridian, again, we learned things when we first put the project in. We did not require that. And a lot of the establishments around, including us, including this town hall, made some suggestions that some cracks came from all the piling driving that they were doing.
Right.
And we didn't require it. So I see there, it's a definitely piece to have it, to protect us. I mean, to look at, if you guys remember the sinkholes we had in the back here.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of that was blamed on the construction that was done when they put this in. We couldn't prove that or anything, but that was what the argument was.
Okay, so are we in agreement then as a straw poll, so to speak, to say that this is something we should tell the council they should consider adding?
Yeah.
We don't need to do more than that, right?
Do we need to vote? No
Okay.
vote?
And then, can you just, Susan, send a note saying that the board reviewed the two ordinances from Wayne, and we would recommend that the council consider
Amending the checklist.
adding something similar now to our checklist.
Sure.
And
Can I just make another note that your next meeting is what, November 18th?
Yeah.
That's the lead.
League municipalities.
so you're gonna give it up and stay here? So you guys are gonna give that up and stay here instead?
Just stare at you, yes.
What, our professionals are so great, I gotta tell you. I'll go in your place. Okay, anyone else have anything else on the agenda? Anything else you wanna bring up? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Wait, hold on.
Second.
Motion was.
Bobby and, Brian. What, wasn't
Fine,
you?
that's fine. I think it was all of us.
Oh.
I think we all said second at the same time, so.
Good enough.
So we have a third as well.
Done. Hit the gavel.
Just two lines of education.
Done.
Ooh.
That was good. Wow. Andy actually loved that.
Years I've never put it down.
I can't believe